Welcome to the first episode of Anime Bros. This is your host, Matt, and we got Christian.
Christian over here, co-host, and
then we got Andrew as our first guest for today's
what's
episode. So we're going to kick it off by starting off our first debate with sub versus dub. Different people have different preferences. I watch all my stuff in dub, but Christian likes to debate me on this, and then
trash.
Well, when we watch it together, we usually end up watching it dub. I don't know if you just do that for my sake or.
I did do that for your sake.
Oh man.
So if I wasn't there, you wouldn't be watching dub?
Not at all. Sub all the way, except in very few anime.
Yeah.
Like I would say, Dragon Ball Z, you have to watch that in dub, like you said. Naruto is like either or. Watching it in sub is not that bad, but almost every other anime, you have to originally watch it in sub in order to get the authentic experience.
I mean, I just like to watch it in the language that I speak, so I don't have to be reading it the whole time. And also, sometimes when I see these subbed animes, I don't know, they're just like emphasize every reaction. Their voices are like all over the place. You got like super high voice, and then this other guy's just talking like super duper low. But then when I compared it to what I was watching in the dub, I feel like they have more range of emotions.
Wait, you just said that the emotions were emphasized in the sub.
Yeah, it's like one extreme or the other. I feel like there's no middle.
Which would represent a wider range than like just being in the middle.
No, it's like binary. It's like two options. You're either super high pitch excited, or you're the super cool low tone.
And then dub just has like one tone where they're all in the middle.
Nah, they're just talking like me, like you, like Andrew. We all talk differently.
I don't really get that from the dub.
I mean, my main point is just that I like to just listen in the language that I understand. I mean, if it only has a subbed option, then like obviously I have to watch it in sub. But like when I'm watching like Naruto and dub, and then I see an episode in sub, I was like, they're almost like different characters to me, because I was like, that's not what that guy sounds like.
They're basically the same character in sub.
I don't know. You said you switch it up depending on what.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball Z, I feel like that you absolutely have to watch that dub. I mean, you listen to Goku's voice in sub, and he just sounds like a scrub.
Yeah.
Does he not? He sounds like a complete scrub. He sounds exactly the same as he did when he was a kid. And I'm just like, that ain't right. And then for sub, I mostly watch sub. Naruto, I grew up watching the first part dubbed, and then Shippuden subbed. But what I usually do, and it's great like that. And I think what I usually do, maybe you do this too, Christian, is usually I will watch the first episode of a new anime series, sub and dub, and just kind of listen to some of the main characters, and just kind of figure out like which voice I kind of like. Because sometimes the dub is just trash, truly, but like sometimes like they nail it, and it's just if they were already in English and made for English, it'd be a little bit more satisfying, because that is what we speak, and you don't have to like really focus on the text, but it's just better acting, better sound in sub typically.
Okay, so I'm the minority on this one.
Yeah,
I feel like just having it introduced in Toonami, like, Toonami would come on, like, after school, I would come home. They're showing it to me in dub, so that's how I grew up watching it, so.
But once you figured out that, like, oh, look, it's actually made in sub, you can expand your range and, like, visit that. Like, it's like if all you ate was McDonald's, right? That's the only thing you know. But then you go outside the city and you figure out there's better burgers. Well, you're not just going to, like, keep eating McDonald's just because it's right there. You're going to expand your taste and try the other burgers.
I mean, in that scenario, yes, but I mean, I just feel like with dub, since, like, I already understand what they're saying without reading it, I could, like, break away. Like, I mostly watch anime on my laptop, so I could, like, get up, do something real quick, still hear what's going on with the anime, come back, sit back down, pick up.
Yeah.
But if it's subbed, I gotta
you have to actually pay attention, right? You got to focus on what's going on in the story, which should be the main point.
I mean, I'm still paying attention. I'm just saying, like, I can break away, go grab something out of the fridge, come back real quick.
You see, so what you're saying is you can miss some scenes and still be fine, but sub forces you to watch the entire thing.
I mean, some scenes are like 30, 40 seconds, like without the environment changing. So like if they're just sitting there having a conversation, I can break away for like 5 seconds and come back.
Yeah.
No, because the conversations could be pretty important. You could miss something that was very key, and that's how you pick up on a lot of like nuances when you're watching.
I don't ever want to see you get up and walk away with an anime still on. Then based off what
you won't. If I do get up, I'm gonna pause it, come back, and resume.
All right.
Even with subs, sometimes I'll walk away. I feel really bad when I do it, but like I'll just walk away and just like get food or some shit, and then all of a sudden like there's a battle going on. I'm like, what the fuck? How does this escalate?
Yeah, you miss a lot when you walk away in sub. I'll just be all right, completely lost. Have to rewind like 30 seconds in order to like know what's happening.
Well, what are you watching right now?
Naruto.
All right, where are you at?
I am when they are fighting the Ten Tails, and the four Hokages just came back and they're talking to Sasuke about when the first Hokage met Madara.
Is this like at the shrine when they resurrect them, or is it just after that?
Yes, it's at the shrine right now, so they're doing the backstory.
Oh shit! Okay. Did they have like the little quarrel where shit kind of got testy a bit?
Yeah, so that is just happened right.
He lifted his finger.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, Matt, you got to go back and finish it. Like, there's pretty good scenes after you stopped it.
I dropped it like 2 different times just because it got kind of ridiculous with Madara just being like the main dude the whole show, and then they just like start introducing like new people more powerful than him. That just kind of like,
I mean, it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z did the same thing. Frieza was the best person in the universe, but then now you have like,
but the whole show wasn't like about Frieza. Like they're just talking about Madara being the baddest guy the whole show, and then he just gets like stabbed in the back and pretty much told he was a scrub. I was like, he definitely wasn't a scrub, but that's pretty much what they were telling him.
I mean,
he was a pawn the whole time.
If we're looking at it though, like the first Naruto, like the main bad guy was kind of like Orochimaru, and then when you get into Shippuden, it was kind of like getting the tailed beast, not really about Madara until you figure out what the ultimate plan was.
But even when they show like the backstory, it's like they have Obito. He was pretending to be Madara. Like it's all just leading up to like once Madara is resurrected, he becomes the 10-tailed Jinchuriki. Like, oh, dude, he's the baddest guy in the show. And then he's like, he gets just like, he just gets stabbed. I also have a problem with like how he like ended up dying. Like he just got stabbed. Couldn't anyone have just stuck their arm through him if that's all it took?
Well, that was a different arm thrust to like take over his body, whatever Kaguya did. But
it was a super arm thrust by Black Zetsu. It was stronger than what anybody else could have done.
Exactly, which means Madara actually wasn't that strong. He got bought down by a thrust to his chest.
But that one dude that was like having a hard on for the Misukage, isn't that like the mist one?
You talking about the Shark Boy?
Yeah. Yeah, he held off Black Zetsu, so I'm pretty sure Madara could have fucked that guy up.
He could have, but like everybody has different strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And apparently he's immune to stabs in the back. It's like a xiX critical hit or something.
Hey, it just happened to be true. Nobody got behind him except it's like thrusting through his back.
That's a weakness, dude.
Yeah, it's like it's Achilles heel.
To be fair though, when he was facing everybody, he was also immortal and he had unlimited chakra.
That's true.
But I feel like he was even more powerful after he like got the Rinnegan and became the 10-tailed Jinchuriki.
Was that considered like a full resurrection? When he got
but like after that, he didn't have unlimited chakra anymore, and he could actually be injured.
True. Why did he do that? Just so he'd become a viable host for the 10-tails?
Yeah, apparently he couldn't become the 10-tailed Jinchuriki unless he was like an actual live body. Which, if I was him, I would have just put like Obito under a Genjutsu, and I would just like kept him alive while he stayed immortal.
Yeah.
That's just me though. But he wanted to be the 10-tailed Jinchuriki, and he wanted to like get rid of everybody, so he had to bring himself back to life. And then got stabbed in the back afterwards.
I just had like no interest in finishing it after they got rid of him. After having that like 50 episodes of just like showing people's dreams, which was ridiculous, and then just to, like, after all that's over, you just take out the, like, main dude, and then the show's supposed to continue.
Do you think that was gonna be the end of the story? Like,
I honestly wanted Madara just to kill everyone.
but like, when does that work on an anime? Like,
it doesn't. That's what I was cheering for him the whole time, and then he got told he was a pawn.
I mean, he was a pawn. That just ended up being what it was. He wasn't much. He wasn't as much as Obito was.
I mean, obviously, I didn't finish it, but I don't even know how they would have been able to beat the person they resurrected after. What was it, Kaguya?
Yeah.
I don't understand how they would have beat her, because there was like tens of thousands of ninjas just like watching Madara do whatever he wanted because they were too weak to do anything. And then you're telling me there's someone even more powerful than him that just comes out of nowhere. Like, she really did just come out of nowhere. They kind of just like, I feel like he just like the writer just like woke up one day. He's like, you know what? Another guy more powerful is I'm gonna, and then it just got thrown into the story like as an afterthought.
But
probably not. If we ever get big enough to where he's watching this, he's probably gonna think I'm dumb.
No, she did come out of nowhere. But at the same time, the ninjas have to have come from something. Chakra had to be created from somewhere, and the writer just used Kaguya as that being that created or was the first one to consume chakra. So you can say it kind of came out of nowhere, but at the same time, chakra did have to come from somewhere.
I mean, it could have just always been there. That wasn't like Earth per se.
So you're saying like Earth just always could have been here?
No, I'm just saying like in that Naruto world, chakra could have just always been part of it.
Yeah, when the show first started, I just kind of figured it was like intrinsic to their like life force. Like that's what it was, you know, starting out. Because like when with Neji and his like palm techniques, you know, when he seals your like chakra nodes, like there's like when he seals them all, or there's like one in particular right by the heart, it just like kills them. You know, I just figured
kill them.
I just figured it was that it was simply their life force. So it just kind of makes you wonder, like, did they not have any chakra at all? Like, or did chakra flow like begin after their exposure, after Kaguya came to Earth?
Well, to be fair, they do have like normal people in like in the villages, and obviously people who couldn't become ninjas. So is it just like, I guess they weren't. Obviously, you can either say they have like the same life force, they just didn't have the amount of chakra that other people have, or you can be like.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
I kind of thought like everyone had chakra. It's just like the super weak people didn't know how to use it. Kind of like when you're watching Star Wars and they're like, doesn't everyone have midichlorians? There's just like people that are way stronger. They become the Jedi.
Yeah, there's people that are way stronger. But with the chakra thing, there's probably some people that like don't know how to. They could probably live without any chakra.
Like us.
True. Yeah.
But, I mean, but you saw though, everybody went through like the village academy. Obviously, if you have like a leaf village filled with whoever, how many people they have, like 20,000 people, not all of them was going to the village academy.
But the show got to the point where none of that even mattered. Like every character became irrelevant as soon as Madara came out. Like all these people had their whole lives of training in these academies, you say, but like it was never going to be enough. And then he wasn't even the strongest guy.
I mean, so but basically what you're saying though is like, unless you're only the strongest guy is relevant, nobody else is relevant at all if the strongest guy is there.
I'm just saying, like, Madara was already, like, way too strong a villain, and then they're saying, like, there's someone even stronger than him. I don't know how they won. I told you I didn't finish it, but I really don't even see how they would have won.
Look, the thing is, it's funny, though, because they won off, of like, a technicality. And
of course, that's the only one. Which I didn't want to. So you're saying it was some bullshit? They won off some bullshit?
I'm not saying it's also bullshit. I'm just saying the way they won links back to one of the very first Naruto episodes.
Was it the one with the curry?
No.
They threw the curry in his face and then she died.
No. They won in a way.
Ramen shop man came to rescue.
Yeah, I actually missed that. In the original Naruto, he was always at Ichiraku, or I think that's what it's called.
Ichiraku Ramen.
Yeah, I thought that was like a cool aspect of the show is that he always ended up there, just like.
Oh yeah, I mean they still have that in Shippuden.
Yeah, a couple, but it's not as big. He's not like always like hoping to run back there after a mission.
I mean, because his mission is like survive or get like the Nine Tails taken out of him.
He could have hid in the ramen shop. They would have never looked there.
Yeah, should work there, you know.
All I'm saying is you should finish it. The way he beat Kaguya was funny, and it integrated kind of like what we expected Naruto to do based on how Naruto first started.
Which this is like the second time you've told me to pick it up, and I actually did pick it up. I skipped all that Tsukunome Dream episodes.
Yeah, I don't know why you try to watch it anyways.
Because I had watched every single episode, every filler episode up till that point, and then it just got to the point like where I couldn't sit through it, so I just got bored and dropped it. I mean, you're saying I should have skipped it. That's probably what most people did. That's probably what everyone's saying. Like, why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
But I had watched every single filler episode up until that point. And then I just dropped it. And then you told me to pick it up, and I saw that Itachi arc afterwards. And shout out Itachi, best character. So that was cool that I got to see his backstory. But then after that, like the very first episode right after that, Madara gets called upon. And then I really wish, I don't know if the other ninjas were like close enough to hear that or even knew what was going on. But if all those tens of thousands of people sitting around could have heard him get called upon, that would have they should have just like died from shame.
Wait, well, first off, it's like take us for example, right? If you put us back like in the 1940s during World War II, we don't hold a candle to our like grandparents fighting the war. You know, they're bigger, stronger, faster than us because they worked at it. So like
I feel like they had to step up in the moment. Like they didn't have an option other than to be great.
Exactly. Yeah. But Madara being one of the first ninjas, not only is he the most powerful, he was born during like when they had three great ninja wars. All right, we're only seeing the fourth great ninja war where like there's already been years of peace. So obviously the ninjas aren't going to be as strong now as they were back in the day when war was common.
Just so you're saying peace made them weak?
Basically. I mean, it was the same thing with us. If somebody put me to boot camp and was like, yo, Christian, 1,000 push-ups, running 4 or 5 miles. This is what your granddad did before he went to World War II. I'm not doing that. It's like we're not physically capable of going through what they went through at that point in time. And relate that to anime, that's kind of what they're doing now. Like besides Naruto and Sasuke, the rest of them are a bunch of scrubs. They haven't been in any wars.
I mean, that happened in Dragon Ball Z too. Like right after they got rid of Cell, there was just like a long gap of peace, and then Gohan was just like hitting the books, going to high school, not training anymore because his dad's dead, and then he
thrashed
as usual.
he got waking up right back to reality. So it's understandable how like.
Well, no, he came back and ended up being the strongest for a minute in the Boo arc also.
I mean, if you
when your back's against the wall, you got no other choice than to be strong, or you die.
Exactly, and I mean, if your back is against the wall against Madara, you're just gonna die because his back has been against the wall for a couple wars. So
yeah,
but and then he wasn't even. There's someone that was like even stronger than him, and then they somehow beat him.
She was an alien.
Can't beat aliens.
That's ridiculous too. That they're aliens. They just introduce aliens into the show. I mean, it happens. Sometimes you like really into a show, and then it just gets too ridiculous. Like, I'm not a fan of the new Star Wars. I thought they were kind of lame.
I do hear about a lot of people about that. But you're telling me 10 to 15 years from now, if some aliens came to Earth and was like, hey, look, we're the one who put you humans there, you're going to be like, well, this isn't fair. I can't believe it. So late to
I guess if that happens, you can pull up this video and make me eat my words.
I'm just saying that, like, outside the realm of possibilities, if they have a world of ninjas, it's not out of the realm that aliens could also come into this war.
I feel like aliens is a big step up from ninjas.
Yeah, especially like, you know, aliens from space that are strong and like, and they're the ones who brought chakra to the planet. And we like assume that like it's just a part of these people's lives. They just are a part of chakra, but it's just a foreign source from outer space, basically.
Is it really though? I mean, we got people out here summoning toads, snakes. We got people that like created 6 different bodies in order to destroy different villages. And then on top of that, we have somebody who created a jutsu literally to like bring people back from the dead and use them to fight at their full strength.
And they were all like pawns. They none of them were strong.
They were
apparently.
pawns. We're talking about a horde of ninja where you like brought back to life all the dead ninja, and aliens are out of like the question.
I just didn't like it. I had to cut it off. And I mean, there was a lot of cool fight scenes. It's cool show, but I don't know if I would recommend it just based off that I had to drop it at the very end. So,
Oh man,
I would recommend it 9 times out of 10.
yeah. If someone's not seen anime, it's one of the easier things to just get into. You know, especially because the dub is pretty solid. You know.
Look, think about it like this, right? Say you went, you know, you finish elementary school, middle school, high school, got all the way to college, and then senior year, you got sick, had to drop out. You didn't graduate.
Coronavirus.
You went around telling people, look, don't go to college. I don't recommend it because I didn't finish. Just drop out of elementary school right now.
I mean, I feel like that analogy is not like comparable to what I'm saying. Like, obviously, I wouldn't be going up to little kids telling them to drop out of elementary school. So, if that's the point you're trying to make, then no, I'm not trying to do that.
What I'm trying to make is like, just because you almost finished a journey and you stopped it because it wasn't that good, doesn't mean other people won't enjoy the full journey because you enjoyed like 95% of it.
Did you
even said you watched every single filler up until like the fillers got too unbearable.
I mean, that's a fair point. Like, I enjoyed the parts up until where I dropped it, so I would just make that part of I would just tell them that, but I wouldn't say, hey, you got to watch this. I would just be like, Naruto has a lot of cool fight scenes, a lot of cool stories in it. Got a little ridiculous at the end, and I had to drop it. I would just say it like that. I wouldn't tell them at the end whether I recommended it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, you just tell them that, hey, look, I guess you can tell them that you dropped it, but you still have to recommend it to them. At least you finished the original series, so you can at least be like, hey, look, watch the original Naruto.
Yeah, but that one I felt like just the ninjas had more of a chance. It was ninjas fighting ninjas, and they were doing like the substitution jutsu. That was pretty cool. And then it just got to be like, dude, if you don't have if you're not a Jinchuriki or a former Hokage, like, you need to like stand over there and watch.
Yeah, that is a very interesting thing that like I did want to bring to light, is because Naruto was kind of treated as like the underdog. Like, it was made to be like, hey, look, underdog, never give up. You could be the greatest.
And he was the most powerful all along. He was the
yeah. When you really look at it, like, I mean, Neji was right. Like, his fate was pretty much sealed from when he was born. I mean, the dude's father was fourth Hokage. He was a distant relative of the first and second Hokage. This dude had the Nine-Tails Fox which gave him every single power up, and then he only had half of it. He got the other half during the war, which made it even worse. But yeah, and then Neji still ended up dying, protecting somebody that was like very much overpowered.
Yeah, I mean, at first, most of his power wasn't really even accessible to him. You know, I mean, and he was a pariah. He was like an outcast for the village. I think his early experiences really allowed him to become humble and gain some sort of humility. He had like every excuse in the world initially to just be like pissed at everyone, pissed at the world, and become a villain. Yet he was like he's the kind of guy who actually convinced, per the story, convinced the villains to become, most of them to become, good people for the most part. He saw the light in others, even though he could have easily like fallen into this sort of darkness and tried to destroy. Like, he could have pulled a Sasuke. He could have been all emo and shit. Like, oh my god, my brother killed everybody. Like,
Yeah, look, Sasuke went through some very traumatic experiences.
nah, I'll give him that. I'm gonna give him that.
But let's not pretend that like Naruto was not related to what 4 of the 6 Hokages before him. He's related to the first and second. His father was the 4th. He's related to Tsunade, who's the 5th, and Kakashi trained him, who is his sensei, the other Hokage.
Yeah.
Like literally, no one else had a chance to become Hokage besides Naruto. Like the path was pretty much easy. All he had to do was like train.
I mean, Danzo.
Naruto's different. He was never officially sworn in. So
I thought he was. I thought he was one of the.
So he got killed. So they make Kakashi the 6th Hokage.
I thought for like a hot second.
Yeah, a second. It was like, yo, you're the Hokage, killed. They didn't even make a sculpture of his face, so they couldn't recognize him as the Hokage.
That's what's official.
Yeah, but just not in the Great Ninja War. Just like when it came down to the end, they had all the numbers on their side, and it didn't even matter. Like those guys couldn't do anything. Like I don't know if you remember in Dragon Ball Z, like Boo killed everyone. It was like only Gohan and Goten and Trunks that could do anything. And then just right when I think Gohan gets absorbed, and then it's Goku versus Boo because Goku just like came out of nowhere. I don't even remember how he got back to Earth, but he came out of nowhere. And then Boo's just about to kill him, and then out of nowhere Tien like shoots a tri-beam at him.
Oh man.
Or whatever his attack is, and like stuns Boo for a second to where Goku's able to like not get killed in that moment. None of the other ninjas could have done something like that where they threw something at Madara and distracted him. Like they were just completely useless.
What do you mean? Neji jumped in front of the spikes and saved Naruto.
Yeah, they had to do it with their lives. I don't think Tien ended up dying.
I mean, Tien ended up dying. I can't remember he actually ended up dying. I'm pretty sure they still got destroyed by those little cell things like later on. But
that was earlier.
But I'm saying that Neji risked his life, but gave Naruto enough time to spread his 9 tails chakra to everybody, which was very key in the fight. So he played an important part. I feel like they stood up pretty well to Madara and Obito.
I mean, they really the power scaling though I think is kind of broken in Naruto. I gotta agree there. It's super broken. Like at the end, like I have to hardcore agree that like most of those ninjas had like no role. Just about like a 1,000 of them would come together and they use like all these combined jutsus, and it just was like nope.
Right. I'm stuck on like because when I've been rewatching it and like I forgot what episode it was, but it was when Naruto was learning how to take care of like the 9 tails chakra, and he finally unlocks like the 9 tails cloak, and he's putting together like the super tailed beast bomb, and he can't do it. Like it like blows up because he got distracted. It's because he sensed the other 2 people using like the 9 tails chakra, Kinkaku and Ginkaku, whoever they are. But he couldn't create a tail beast bomb because he didn't have as much control yet. Then literally, I would say 10 episodes later, this dude is deflecting 5 tail beast bombs with one swipe of his hands because he all of a sudden like had a 100% match with Kurama, and he like powered up fully to the max. Couldn't create a tail beast bomb himself, but then like powered up enough to like, destroy 5 other tail beast bombs out of nowhere. And then it got even worse after that. Like Kakashi used a Kamui like 20 times in the war.
And I was fine with all that just until they got rid of Madara.
I mean, you should want to get rid of Madara though. You want the odds to be stacked so great that it doesn't look like they can win until they do win.
I mean, I would have been fine if like Naruto and Sasuke somehow killed him, but you're telling me someone even more powerful than him just like emerged from the shadows and then they somehow beat that person. I don't really know.
So wait. We can branch it over into sports. 2017. Would you have been mad if LeBron would have beat the Warriors in the finals when the Warriors had Kevin Durant?
No, I would have loved that because I thought Durant going to the Warriors was like the softest move probably in sports history.
Hey, well, so compare that to this, right? You have Naruto and Sasuke going up against Madara, who's clearly Madara's more powerful than them. That's like LeBron going against the Warriors. LeBron comes back down 3-1 and somehow pulls out the dub. And you know what the Warriors do? They pull out Kaguya. They pull out KD. Somebody that's like the second best player in the world join the team. So now they're even more unstoppable. But LeBron still has like that opportunity to go take him down, even though that like he didn't.
But in the scenario you just said, they get Kaguya and then they never lose again. But you're telling me Naruto and Sasuke somehow beat him?
Yeah, I mean, but you said you said you would love if that happened to LeBron. So why don't you like Naruto and Sasuke being the underdog and pulling out the win?
Because I don't think it's the same. Because I don't know.
See, in both cases, you want the underdog to like beat the unbeatable foe. Because
I really just wanted Madara to just win. It was sad when I thought the show should have ended with him dying, but then they just some other character that I feel like just came out of nowhere became the main bad person.
Yeah, I mean, she just goes about like hopping dimensions. I mean, it's a pretty crazy fight. If you haven't seen it, you really should at least watch that. You really should watch that before you condemn it all the way. That way, you can like truly condemn it, like in all of its fullness.
He got me to pick it back up for a minute, and then I watched an episode, and then the next episode button was just staring me in the face, and I didn't click on it. And I just started watching Hunter x Hunter.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
Like, because I'm on episode 370, and there's been no mention of Kaguya at all.
Yeah, she really did just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I forget when they talk about her. I mean, they talk about the past. You watched the whole series, right? I'm just gonna make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think.
There's a while where they show her origin story, but I don't remember when they do that in reference with when. Like, did they show her origin story before she emerged or after she emerged?
I want to say this, but I know they talk about her sons. Like, when did they talk about the Indra and Ashura rivalry? Because I feel like maybe they might have mentioned that, but.
And then they were saying that's like what Naruto and Sasuke are.
Yeah, like they're reincarnates, which I highly, highly doubt that my dude Sasuke was the reincarnate of I forgot which one he was supposed to be a reincarnate of. Indra?
Probably Indra.
The bad one, whichever one was the bad one. Because obviously Naruto's the good guy.
They technically weren't really bad. They just had like different viewpoints of things. Like, but Madara was a good person. He created a village with Hashirama. Like he wanted a village of peace. But yeah. He would just like curse on the path of hatred. But even still, like maybe if it was Itachi that was reincarnated, maybe Obito, I refuse to believe that this dude they literally threw Sasuke in that role. It was like, you know what? Since Naruto's the main character, we're just going to make you the reincarnation of Indra. Nothing to do with Sasuke would have done would have led me to believe that he would be the reincarnation, except being born close to Naruto.
Yeah, pretty much just that. Like, was there anything like Sasuke didn't do a whole lot of no outside. I mean, his entire life was basically just like one big revenge story. I mean, I don't think Indra's life was exactly like that, was it?
I don't think so. His is like I forgot where he got his hatred from, though.
I think that's really the key then. Because that hatred got passed down to Sasuke to a degree. I mean, like by proxy, I guess you could say. At least my opinion. Like almost like fate. Do you think we could ascribe it to that?
I guess the only way I can see it being passed down is like they're like, you know what? Naruto's clearly the reincarnation, so we're just gonna give it to his rival.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see that. I mean, it would have made sense if it was Obito. Like, I mean, this dude started the entire war because a girl he liked that didn't even like him back got killed. So,
yeah, she became the Jinchuriki, or like a partial transformation, and then who killed her? Was it Kakashi?
Yeah,
right through the heart.
Which I never really understood that part.
I never really understood that part either. I feel like, I mean,
Is it just because she was a Jinchuriki and those other people were trying to get her or something? So he's like, no one can get her.
Well, they were trying to capture her, and they put some sort of like tracking ninjas or her or something. So whenever they got back to the village, they were going to infiltrate the village and kill everyone and take her anyways. So
she's like, I'm just going to kill her so no one else can.
Well, she jumped in front of the Chidori herself, so she decided to kill herself.
Oh.
Well, that was like Obito's only friend, though, so.
I mean, I feel like Obito could have been like, hey, look, Kakashi, why did you kill my childhood love in the chest? I didn't. She jumped in front of it. I couldn't avoid her. Easy misunderstanding. It could have been patched up super easy. No, this dude, like.
But I feel like he was just upset that she had to die in general. The reason wouldn't have mattered. It was just the fact that she wasn't there anymore. Made him.
I feel like the reason would have mattered a lot. If Akashi would have been like, yeah, she killed herself.
But he wanted to change the world, so that situation would have never even happened.
True, but then I feel like if Kakashi would have cleared that up, he would have been more likely to not team up with Kakashi and then like maybe change the world the way they see fit.
I don't know. This anime gets 7.5 out of 10. You guys can check it out if you want.
I give it an 8 out of 10. I give regular Naruto 9 out of 10, Naruto Shippuden 7 out of 10, and then 8 out of 10 for the whole series.
Yeah, something like that, because it just got to be too ridiculous.
I think like 7.5, 8 for battles, maybe even higher for battles. But overall, story and everything, 7.5. I mean, it's really good. It's a good anime.
It just didn't finish strong for me. Like, it got to be too crazy. I liked it when it was more about like the hand-to-hand combat between ninjas, and then it just got to be like they almost became like Saiyans, dude. Like they just had like they were almost like Super Saiyans fighting each other, and if you weren't Super Saiyan, then you had to hide in your house like we're doing now.
Yeah.
That's I mean, it's the same thing with like One Punch Man. You know, what's the point of any other character besides One Punch Man?
Like I saw the first episode of that, and I think there was like no dialogue. It was just him punching stuff. I don't know if
I need Andrew's opinion on this very important question.
Huh?
I need Andrew's opinion on this very important question.
All right, let's go.
What did you think about the Sasori versus Sakura and Grady Chiyo fight?
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Oh, man, wait. Ask that again.
What do you think about the Sasori versus Grady Chiyo and Sakura fight?
It was like right after Gaara got his tailed beast taken out of him, and then Kakashi starts chasing Deidara, and then Sasori. It's pretty much Sasori's last battle. The puppet master dude.
Yeah, with Granny Chiyo. Okay.
And Sakura, the two of them fought.
She don't matter. No, I'm kidding. Like, is there anything about the battle you wanna discuss?
He just thought the outcome was ridiculous. He thought Sasori should have pummeled him in like 5 seconds, like flawless victory, fatality.
I'm not saying 5 seconds flawless victory. I'm saying that the match shouldn't have even been close.
Yeah, how did they win? How the fuck did they win? I mean, I think there should have been like a bit of a battle, but like he clearly outmatched them. Like unless there was some sort of sentimentality, like I don't really understand that shit at all.
I was telling him that like Sasori didn't even want to win, obviously, because he took himself out at the end.
No.
It's just,
and I told him it shouldn't even got to that point.
And I was telling him like if an NBA basketball player is playing me one-on-one and the NBA player doesn't want to win,
he's still going to win.
He doesn't want to win, and he lets me win, because that's pretty much what happened. Sasori let them win. He like didn't dodge the attack.
It'd be
all he had to do was dodge that, and then he could have killed him. But he just chose not to dodge it.
Of like you being an NBA game, the other team doesn't want to win, and they're like, you know what? Let's let Matt have the game-winning field goal in Game 7, and we'll give him an open layup.
I think I could hit the layup.
I think he'd hit the layup.
Yeah,
but
if it was an open jumper, maybe not. But I think I could hit a layup.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though, Game 7 to win the finals, they're not letting you do that. they're coming at you with like the full force, and they're gonna block your shot.
But he didn't have a team. It was just him. So
What was Sasori's role in the Akatsuki? Like, what exactly did he want to get from it? Because I know he didn't. It was like a lot of it was like trauma because of his family. Like he like lost them.
I feel like a lot of them were just like misfits that came together. I don't really know if any of them had a bigger goal in mind. Because like Kakuzu was just about money, and then they got Hidan on their side just because they just wanted him. And he's
he's an immortal freak. He had nowhere else to go.
He wanted to spread the word to Joshin, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, you can still do that if you roll with us. And he's like, all right. So I feel like a lot of them were just kind of doing their own thing. Like Hidan, he was doing his own thing. He was
They
like,
trapped Data.
yeah, but he's like, can I still do my art? And they're like, yeah, sure. And he's like, all right. So I feel like a lot of them weren't even on the same page with what they were trying to do. They were just like, can I still do what I was doing before if I join you? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the only ones that were on the same page was Pain and Toby.
And they also said, like, if you join us, we won't kill you right now. And then you can just do what you were doing before. And they're like, all right. So you're pretty much not really changing anything because I'm going to keep doing what I was doing before and I'm going to be alive. That's all right, cool.
Wait, that is pretty interesting though. Like, but because it did show like how every single one of them kind of like got into the Akatsuki except Sasori. Like we know he like deserted the village, but I mean,
Yeah,
at least
where was he supposed to go?
I mean, he could just lay low.
And everyone needs like allies, even if you're just going to manipulate them.
I mean, he definitely could have just like lay low, like not. He was definitely a quiet person, but
I guess he didn't want the hermit lifestyle. He wanted to, I don't know, he wanted bigger schemes maybe.
I really do wonder what he wanted from that group because I feel like that ties into the battle pretty clearly. I mean, he wanted something clearly, or he would have just died because he was a puppet at that point, right?
yeah, he was a puppet.
If I recall. So like,
Well, then he might have been immortal himself. Orochimaru should have just done that. Turned himself into a puppet. Like,
Nah, Orochimaru like that. Look, even Orochimaru joined the Akatsuki to get close to Itachi. You know, once he figured out he couldn't take his body, he left. Itachi and Kasami just like straight up murdered Data, made him join the group. Who else? Why did Kasami? I forgot about Kasami's backstory. Oh, he was going around killing people, and then the fourth Mizukage approached him, so that he was being controlled, and that's how they got Kasami to join.
yeah, and Obito was there.
Yeah, and they tried to make Obito appear like Madara by like showing Madara's shadow.
okay.
Yeah, so it's like a lot. Like, why was Itachi there? Itachi like just pretty much didn't have anything else to do.
So Itachi joined the Akatsuki so he can keep an eye on the Hidden Leaf Village.
He could have kept an eye on the Hidden Leaf Village. It's just like being a hermit, like you were saying Sasori should have done.
Now, but he was ordered by the third Hokage to enact that mission, specifically to infiltrate the Akatsuki after he killed the Uchiha clan.
When I went back and watched that Itachi arc right after like his backstory arc, like the third Hokage said, so what are you going to do now? And then Itachi told him. So Itachi like presented the idea. He chose to do that.
Maybe I haven't got that far yet. That 2 episodes ago, the third Hokage just told Sasuke that like Itachi's mission was to infiltrate the Akatsuki.
Yeah, but I think it was Itachi's idea. Itachi could have been like, I'm going to go like chill in the clouds and like spy on the Raikage, whatever. Like he could have just said, I'm going to be doing anything, and then he'd be like, okay, that's your mission.
Yeah, but this way, like he has power and he can still kind of like do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he can still put fear in Danzo's eyes. Like if words going around, hey, look, Itachi grabbed the 2 tails, the 3 tails. Danzo knows not to mess with Sasuke.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I feel like everyone in the Akatsuki, other than like Pain and the paper chick, I don't remember her name.
Conan.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't ever really remember her doing much.
Wait, plus Itachi's whole plan was to have like Sasuke come and kill him. He wouldn't like stay secret for 20 years and then come out the woodwork like, hey, look, Sasuke, now you can kill me. He obviously had to have like Sasuke know where he was at part of a well-known organization, so he can hunt him down when he wants to.
Yeah, but my point is just like he had nothing to do with like what Pain and that chick you just said. Got her name already.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conan. Like he had nothing to do with what they were doing, and I feel like there's other members in the Akatsuki that were like the same. They were just in there doing whatever they wanted.
Oh yeah, basically. Pain, Conan, and like Toby or Obito were the only three that was like putting forth the plan until Pain double crossed them at the end.
Yeah, and I was I mean me and you talked about this, but that one fight with Asuma where he's taking on Hidan and Kakuzu, I think that to me that was like one of my favorite fights, maybe my favorite in the show. Just cuz I actually like when they're fighting and then Asuma just randomly is like, these guys are stronger than us, I like felt scared in that moment for Shikamaru. I just got like, why you gotta tell him that? Tell him we got no chance.
How that fight ended up, that should have been how Sasori's and Sakura's fight ended up. It should have been like, oh, we have no chance. And it should have been, he ended up dying. That's what should have happened to Granny Chiyo and Sakura.
I think the only reason they prevailed is because you're not giving Granny Chiyo enough credit. Like,
I'm giving Granny Chiyo immense credit. Like, she's
like
probably,
Sakura was just kind of there. It was pretty much like Granny Chiyo versus Sasori.
yeah, but I mean, she was controlling Sakura too. So like, she had her like strength. And
Yeah, so Sakura really wasn't doing much of anything. It was pretty much just she was just there.
She's just throwing punches.
But she couldn't be affected by the black sand because the black sand stopped puppets from moving.
Yeah, so great teamwork prevails, but the lack of great teamwork led to Asuma's death because they chopped off Hidan's head and then those two scrubs just watched as it got put back on. They should have pounced on him.
I think anytime you see a dude's head get chopped off and he starts talking and his teammate grabs his head, you're gonna be stuck for a couple seconds trying to process what happened.
I'm just saying it was like in that moment, Team of 4 is going to hunt down these two Akatsuki members, and then Asuma, Shikamaru, they get the job done.
After Asuma says, "Hey, look, both of these guys are way stronger than me." Don't forget that.
They overcame adversity, back against the wall, ascended to greatness. They chopped off Hidan's head. That moment's 4-on-1, and then Asuma just gets like smacked in the face with a briefcase. He's still alive, so maybe it's pretty much 3-on-1, but like 3 and a fraction because Asuma's still alive. They should have like all converged on Kakuzu, but instead they're just like, dude, what is going on right now? Like, what do we do next? Like, we're in the middle of a fight. Do we stop fighting and let this guy get his head put back on? Yeah, let's do that.
But first we have Asuma saying, "Hey, look, both of these guys are way stronger than me." That's the first event. Second event, he chops off his head. Then the dude with the head chopped off starts talking. Then the guy that like was sitting there smacks Asuma with the briefcase, picks up the headless dude. It keeps on talking and starts walking over to put his head back on. After seeing all these events transpire,
then they're like, all right, now we got to do something. Now that it's 3-on-2, we got to do something.
No. It doesn't matter. It could have been 6-on-2, and they probably would have like all got demolished. Those two guys wanted no part of a dude that like was quicker than Asuma and was reattaching this dude's head with his arm.
I mean, it's just about survival in that moment, and obviously you see what happens when you hesitate.
They would have ran away if they wanted to survive.
They really should have. They really should have ran away. I'm talking about Azuma's group. They really should have just booked it after that. I mean, you're fighting somebody who's effectively immortal. You just put his head back on. I personally think they should have left after that. They should have just booked it.
Anything
ended up doing it, but
anything other than just standing there would have been the correct.
No, but like I thought that since that guy had his head put on, didn't all he had to do was run back to the circle?
Yeah, but they didn't know that.
Yeah, they didn't know what his ability was.
I thought they knew that after he chopped his head off. They're like, oh, we can't let this guy get back into the circle. And then he
they let him though.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I thought it was pretty obvious. I thought it was obvious that, like, hey, look, this dude's standing in the middle of a red circle in a brown field. He yells some sort of chant. You threw a fireball at him, and you're the one that got hurt. And then he starts stabbing himself, and you're receiving the damage too. Guess what? He hasn't moved from the same spot. You know, you should probably do something about that.
They chose to just stand there until, and then they tried to fight him, and then they really didn't do much of anything. Even one of them had kind of a unique jutsu. It was like you could like make syrup, or it was like really sticky water.
Hey, I feel like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was cool, but like should have used that ahead of time. You could have like doused Hidan's head in syrup and made him like stick to the floor so he couldn't get attached to his body or something.
That'd have been smart. I mean, honestly, they could have just like
could have done anything. I don't know if Shikamaru was even yelling at him. Shikamaru might have been yelling at them to do shit, and they still just stood there.
No, he wasn't. He was kind of shocked too. So they were all like pretty much shell.
No, he was tired. There's different. He had just like he had actually just done something. Those other two guys were fresh. Like they were pretty much like what everybody else was in the Great Ninja War. They were just spectators.
I mean, but you have to have spectators. You don't want no spectators.
Yeah, they're like spectators that were like equipped to fight, so they just weren't doing their job.
I mean, I feel like there's nothing wrong with having a couple of spectators. We need you need those weak ninjas to show you how strong the strong ninjas are.
I mean, just because of how powers had been scaling, I mean, they kind of have to do that, right? To like truly be like, I mean, because it's like such a long series, and like there's like sort of no, the power ups weren't even incremental. It was just kind of like you're much stronger now after a little bit of training. So never mind. I was gonna say it was like incremental, and they had to show that change. But yeah, I don't know why they just kind of kept grounding. I feel like it just wasn't a very good idea to keep grounding it with like weak ass ninjas.
Yeah, I mean, the tailed beasts were fine. Like if they would have like kept the battle like around the tailed beast, you know, I can understand them being, you know, powerful. But when you go from like Naruto, he can only use like 3 or 4 Rasen Shuriken,
yeah,
and then his chakra's all gone, to like this dude is throwing 30 of them, like within like a span of like 2 minutes, and he just doesn't run out of chakra. And then
I was under the impression he could never do that again after he used it on Kakuzu when the Leaf Shinobi fought him again later in a different scene. He used the Rasen Shuriken to kill Kakuzu and then like pretty much jacked up his whole arm. And then the 5th Hokage is like, yeah, you can't ever do that again. And then you're saying, yeah, he just throws like 6 of them later on in the show.
Yeah, it's because like the Rasengan Shuriken expanded. Like, every time he like you ever see him throw it, and he throws it at the 10 tails after it takes out the spikes, it like gets 10 times bigger. Well, when he was like 2 inches away from that, obviously it was affecting him too. But when he throws it, he's not near it in order for it to affect him.
Is it that the technique was inherently that dangerous, or is it just that he needed a lot more skill and training to like master it?
So technique was that dangerous. It was the Rasen Shuriken, the wind chakra around it destroyed people's chakra network.
Yeah, it like eviscerated his cells.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, just destroyed him at the smallest level.
Yeah,
which I didn't pick up on it, but I guess apparently Christian saying he got trained or learned how to do it without that happening. But I thought like that was going to happen every time regardless. So I was like surprised and confused when he ended up using it a lot because it became one of his like main moves after he learned how to do it.
Yeah, so the whole thing was like when he hit someone with it, whoever's like in a 10-meter radius would be affected because the wind is taking on all the chakra networks. So if he throws it and he's not within the 10-meter radius, it's not going to affect him, which was the problem.
Okay.
So that's why you never like saw him when he hit Kakuzu with it. He like actually punched in Kakuzu's stomach. Ever since after that, you never actually see him actually use the Rasengan. You just see him throw it.
Okay, so he was like in the range of. It was basically like he was holding a grenade of wind, and he just was blowing himself up with it a little bit. Low key. Oh gosh. And then he finally was like, "Oh, why don't I throw it?"
And that's how he learned,
Okay.
like not to be in the grenade's radius. But that's a perfect explanation.
Fair. Okay.
Were we gonna get into Dragon Ball Z at all?
Yeah. Okay. Wait, Andrew, how much of Dragon Ball Z have you seen?
I mean, I've only seen all of Dragon Ball Z. I haven't seen any of Super. I've seen all of GT, which I know a lot of people don't like to talk about. I've seen none of Super. I've only seen the movie.
The movie was cool. I actually saw the movie in theaters, and there was like this like 12-year-old kid talking through the whole thing, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was just funny that I was seeing Dragon Ball Z in theaters. Period.
That felt like awesome, because like it's not very often for anime to really at least at that time for it to just be in theaters. I didn't think
it was at a select theater. It was like at a mall, just randomly, and then I went with Matt Morgan. I was like, oh, let's go see this. But to his point, I've only seen Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT. Have not seen Super, and I actually have not seen the original Dragon Ball.
You need to watch both of those series.
I tried watching Dragon Ball Super, dude. The first 20 episodes, they're just chilling on a yacht. Like, nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Yeah. Once you get past that part, though, there's actually
what is 20 episodes? That's like
almost. That's like what, like 4 hours?
I don't. Yeah, you're telling me I gotta like watch even more hours of that nonsense.
Well, see, I want to say the first 34 or 35 episodes is actually just telling the movie in a different way.
It's like 7 hours, dude. If they're 20-minute episodes.
Oh yeah. Still,
I watched like 7 hours of them just chilling on a yacht.
Wait. That means you didn't see like the you didn't see Beerus come down then?
Yeah, but even that was like I knew Beerus wasn't gonna be a bad guy, so like I knew all the next episodes were gonna be nonsense too. I was like waiting for.
He still fought them.
Dude, nothing was happening.
Yeah, you gotta give it some time. Like,
Dragon Ball Z, episode 1, Raditz comes down and starts, like, messing them up, telling them, like, they're nothing. Like, you know, there's warriors outside of this planet, and you don't even know how strong they are.
Exactly. But wait. You know how they got to that point? 153 episodes of regular Dragon Ball that you skipped.
I wouldn't be opposed to watching that. Just Dragon Ball Super was, like, a waste of my time. I tried, dude. You're telling me I gotta watch even more?
Is it worth it? Is it worth watching Super?
I think it's worth it. The Tournament of Power, I think, is pretty good.
How does it compare to Dragon Ball Z to you?
What's that?
How does Super compare to like Dragon Ball Z to you? Like, how does it feel?
I feel like the characters, like, their speech and body language was different than in Dragon Ball Z 2. I think they made it more like of a kid's show. That's the vibe I was getting.
They did. So to me, what Dragon Ball Z Super did, it doubled down on what One Piece did, which One Piece like kind of like created that sort of kiddish style. I feel like they did that by making Goku more like Luffy.
Yeah, I tried, dude. I was excited. I was like, let me check this out. So you can't keep telling me like when I dropped something, when I gave it a fair chance just to pick it back up again, because I gave it a fair chance up front, and I'm not even really that hard a critic. They're just like they made it more of a kid show. They wasted 7 hours of my life. Like I gave them a chance.
That is a good chance.
Like Vegeta has amazing character development. He was already one of my favorite characters. He just gets even better during Dragon Ball Z Super. I think do you remember like the Cell saga when it was like people trying to fight Cell and he was kind of like testing their powers?
Yeah.
The Tournament of Power is kind of like that, except is that to the extreme. So you get multiple battles like that.
Yeah, I saw like part of it on Toonami, but like I didn't really know what was going on because, like I said, I dropped it. But I saw Android 18 was fighting, so cool. I thought that was kind of cool, but not cool enough to make me like go check it back out.
They bring back Android 17, Android 18. You got Frieza.
Are they discounting GT?
I think so.
Okay, because they brought back Android 17 and GT for a while.
Super
GT
Android 17.
Yeah.
So GT isn't considered canon. It was created. I think it was okayed by the illustrator, but it was never like considered a canon part of the series.
Which I actually liked that. I liked that better than the 7 hours I wasted of Super.
I think the creator of Dragon Ball Z like literally created Super just because he's like to basically take back GT.
Well, you
to write it off.
Should have taken it back quicker because that yacht I could have done without all that.
Look, give it a chance. Once you get past those arcs, they have some pretty good arcs. Gohan comes back, he gets a little mixed up in there. Future Trunks, major player.
In Dragon Ball Super?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wouldn't it just be regular Trunks? You're telling me Future Trunks comes back?
You got to watch it. Exactly. Future Trunks,
not
regular Trunks. Future Trunks. Got to watch it.
I'm not going to. I was just asking a question.
I think a reason you don't like it is it's the same reason why I couldn't get into Boruto, is because we both watched the movies, and like when you start watching the series, like it's the movie just drawn out. So like a lot more episodes. I think if you skip that whole part to a different arc where it's like more relevant, you might actually enjoy it. Maybe not if you don't, but
I've been watching these animes where you don't need to skip any of the episodes, so I've been enjoying that.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So wait. You're telling me, right? If you're starting to play a game, let's say you're playing Madden 25. You've already played like the 24 Maddens before it. You're still going through the tutorials, even though you can skip.
I never went through the tutorials on the other one, so that's a bad example.
Exactly. So I'm saying that like
exactly my example's bad.
No. With these anime, you can skip the parts that you don't want to see because they're the tutorial. You've already seen the movie, so you can skip to the part of where the new stuff actually happens. There's no reason for you to watch every single episode.
When you're pitching to someone and you're just telling them like, hey, just skip this, skip that, like you shouldn't, like, you're not really gonna deliver the message if you're telling them they gotta skip all over the place.
You don't have to skip all over the place. Just skip the movie part, which is the beginning of the series, and get to where the actual new stuff happens.
No, but another one of my issues was just that I was thinking it was like more of a kid show. I felt like it wasn't as intense as Dragon Ball Z was. The intro wasn't as exciting. Like when the Dragon Ball Z music used to come on, I'd get like super pumped up, like let's go. And I wasn't into the music. I wasn't into the show. I wasn't into the amount of time I wasted.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
But the music, I thought the music was pretty good, especially the third, and fourth, and fifth openings. They actually get really good.
That far?
I think I just made it to the first one.
I gotcha.
But
The
movie was cool.
I loved it when Beerus slapped Bulma because like low key I don't really care for Bulma, but Vegeta's awesome. So like it was like a win-win,
And then all it is like. So you're mad at the episodes for wasting your time, but you've already seen those episodes.
I was wanting to talk about Dragon Ball Z, and somehow we got caught up on this show that I tried to watch. It's not like I didn't try to watch it.
Yeah, usually the rule for a new anime.
The part you try to watch was the part you've already seen. Like
No. The part I saw was when they fought Golden Frieza.
Oh. What was it, like Tsukaimo no F or something? Like the Frieza movie? Return of Frieza?
Yeah, that's the one I saw, the Return of Frieza. That had nothing to do with a yacht.
Oh.
Wait, you didn't see...
I saw the Golden... Yeah, Resurrection F, like the Golden Frieza movie.
Which one was the one where they fought Beerus?
I don't know what they call that, but that's like when they first talk about Super Saiyan God, but they don't really, they make it about like a battle between gods, like they ascend Goku.
Yeah, it was Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods, the movie.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought you were talking about, Matt. You didn't see that movie?
It's a good movie.
No, I think I saw that one too.
Well, that movie is like the first 30 episodes of Dragon Ball Z Super, just retelling it, which is what Boruto did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So you basically made your review off of content you've already seen. That's why you feel like it was wasted.
No, I literally watched 20 episodes. I just thought something would have happened by episode 20, and I don't even remember seeing that part in the movie. So
Yeah, because it's like
when I was watching it, I didn't recognize like this is stuff I've already seen. So maybe I watched the movie after. I don't know.
So I'm hearing a bunch of hate. I'm hearing a bunch of excuses on why you don't want to watch it.
My excuse is I wasted 7, and if I waste another 3, I'm gonna have to. I would look back and be like, I was right. Whereas I can just say right now, like,
but
don't waste any more of your own time.
Right now, you can't say that you are right because you could possibly be wrong.
I feel like 7 hours is enough. If I watch 7 hours of something and nothing happened,
an extra 3 hours, 10 hours.
I think I could watch most of Lord of the Rings in 7 hours, and there's a lot of shit that happens in the first 7 hours of Lord of the Rings.
I hate Lord of the Rings.
Well, we don't even have to go there, but
I loved Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you liked Goblin Slayer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I can't really remember what Lord of the Rings is about. The last time I saw it, I was like 6 or 7.
I don't remember what it's about, but I hate it.
Yeah, I was 6 or 7. I saw it on TV. I started watching it, and I fell asleep within like the first 25, 30 minutes.
Maybe you were just tired.
Or it was boring. I'm going to go with it was boring.
Okay.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you should watch Lord of the Rings from the beginning, and then I think you should finish, or at least watch a little bit more of Super. I think that's a little fair.
I would rather go watch the rest of Hunter x Hunter.
No, do that. Do that. No, finish Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter had a chance to make it more kid-like, but they absolutely did not.
Yeah.
They did not.
And I was wanting to talk to you about the one that we have seen rather than – I feel like anyone watching this is just like, Matt starts animes and don't finish them. There's actually a lot of animes I have finished, and those are the ones I would recommend. We'll talk about in future episodes.
That is true. We could definitely do that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we can go back to DBZ. We've all seen DBZ like a lot.
See, I can't really remember Dragon Ball Z. Because when I watched it like in high school, and I watched Dragon Ball. Then I watched Dragon Ball Z. Then I watched Dragon Ball GT, and then finally Super was out, and I just watched Dragon Ball Z Super. So I can't really remember except outside the main battles. Like I don't even remember how Dragon Ball Z ended. I thought it ended with the World Tournament, and the Goku told someone else to keep an eye on the world, Majin Buu.
Yeah, they pretty much beat Kid Buu, and then after that, it's over.
Yeah, and then Goku kind of like pretended he saw the good in Buu, and he resurrected him, or Kid Buu, but like really, he just wanted to fight someone really strong, like
It was
Kid Buu.
Majin Buu, wasn't it?
I thought he resurrected resurrected Kid Buu because like Majin Buu was there too, like the tubby one.
Oh no, I'm talking about the guy that kind of looked black. Oob.
Yeah, Oob. Yeah, he was Kid Buu. I thought.
Oh, he was?
I thought he resurrected Kid Buu, and then like, did they resurrect both, or like it was like a reincarnation where they resurrected Buu. Maybe I don't recall.
It was somehow a reincarnation of him.
Yeah, so I knew he was a reincarnation of him, and I thought that's like.
And he was good, and they actually had him in GT, which was cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like the last part I remember, and then before that, I remember Frieza like committing suicide and blowing up everybody, or blowing up Majin Buu.
Frieza?
I mean, not Frieza. Vegeta. Vegeta blowing up Majin Buu, and then Majin Buu just coming back.
Yeah, I think that like it was Majin Vegeta or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a great part though. Like that was when he was like talking with Trunks and Goten. He was like he was like really showing his vulnerability to his son. I think that was like one of the first times he was like I'm your dad, you're my son. Like I love you, Trunks, and then he just punches him, he knocks his ass out.
He's trying to
Go ahead. I'm about to say you get some more of that in Dragon Ball Super.
I should have cut you off. But I don't remember what I was gonna say. I definitely should cut you off.
What were we talking about?
No, he was trying to Christian was trying to tell me that that whole season where Goku's like fighting Pikkon and Gohan's clowning around as
Sandman.
Yeah, he was trying to tell me that whole season was filler.
I said possibly.
I don't think, because otherwise, I think it's not filler, because otherwise Videl would just randomly be in the story.
Yeah, they could have. They didn't have to show all of his escapades though. Like
I like that. I like that season. I thought that season was really funny.
At least Gohan was doing something again.
And then they're showing how Goten like knew how to go Super Saiyan. Like I feel like that was all kind of, I don't know, maybe it was all some junk, but I thought it was cool to see what was going on.
It definitely wasn't like the Tsukuyomi no Mi or like the Infinite Tsukuyomi, where like it was literally just made up fictional shit. Like it was fantasy completely. Like it at least had some relevance to the plot. I can see how it can be considered filler, but
that was definitely filler.
But that was for sure filler. Like it was made up that had nothing really to do with the story outside of that they were just having fantasies. They just showed the fantasies to fill the time.
Oh, you said Goku versus Pikkon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was filler.
Well, regardless of what Google says, I think you should check it out.
So, I mean, this is like anime filler list.
Regardless of what anyone says, Matt says check that stuff out.
No, look though.
You haven't seen it?
Episode was the Saiyan episode.
Yeah, but then you see Goku fighting in the. It was pretty much what you're saying Dragon Ball Super did with that Otherworld tournament. They had like the equivalent of that in Dragon Ball Z with all the different Kais presenting their warriors.
Yeah. See, I can't really remember that though. Like, I remember watching that. I remember the Saiyan part, like when Saiyan was introduced.
That had some pretty crazy power scaling, just like Naruto does, because Pikkon, like pretty much like with one roundhouse kick, took out Cell and Frieza at the same time.
Like they were nothing.
I do vaguely remember that.
And then Goku was like
an
even match for Pikkon, which means Goku could technically take out Frieza and Cell with one roundhouse kick as well.
But he did do that, didn't he? Like one time when he was dead and he had to like complete a race to get back to life or something like that. He ran into Frieza and Cell and he just like pummeled him so easily.
I know Pikkon did. I don't know if Goku did.
Maybe in like GT. They do come back in GT, but I don't remember them coming back again. After Pikkon, I don't remember them coming out of hell again. To fight Goku.
With those German dudes.
So
Hell.
Goku fought
the trolls.
Yeah.
Deutschland. Yeah.
I'm about to see if I can find that episode. I'm pretty sure Goku like fought them in hell because he had the halo above his head, and he fought them like underground.
Was that when he goes to hell for like because of the Janemba incident?
Maybe.
That was a movie.
That was a movie?
Right. I never saw the movie. I played it. It was in the Dragon Ball Z like game. They had the game from.
You've never seen the Janemba movie?
I've never seen the Janemba movie. No.
Oh, we should watch that after this call.
Okay.
Because I mean, I won't even talk about it. Yeah, we should watch that.
I mean, they have like a very. They like.
It looks like it was a GT.
Okay.
That's probably why. Yeah. So my memory is like all mixed up between like those two series. I just watched it all the way through.
Should we tell everybody what they can expect in the next episode?
Do we even know what to expect in the next episode?
More of the same minus Andrew, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you're still in town, then
I'll be in town.
But we were gonna check out Mirai Nikki, Future Diary,
and Death Note.
Yep.
We'll keep it up in the air. We'll let the fans know what to expect next week. More of the same, more debating, more of me being right, Matt halfway being right, giving up his argument.
Nah, it's just with you keep like trying to get me to talk about these animes I didn't finish, but Mirai Nikki, Future Diary, finish that one. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It would get better than a 7.5.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would definitely recommend Mirai Nikki over Naruto.
Yeah.
Unless you just start your first anime though, it has to be Naruto. It's like the staple.
No. I would almost say your first. If you've never seen an anime, you would want to check out one of those like Future Diary where it's like 20 episodes just to see if you like it. You're telling someone that's never seen anime, yo, go watch 500 episodes, then decide if you like anime.
I just think
don't know about that.
I mean, that can also backfire. But like Mirai Nikki, that's like I don't want to say hardcore, but not everyone likes that.
I'm not saying that has to be your first one. I started my brother off. We watched Berserk. It's like 20, 25 episodes.
I would not recommend Berserk. Like
That's not for casual people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not. No.
I mean, but my point is not to that has to be the first one you watch. I just said you should watch one that's probably like 20 episodes or so.
Well, I'm saying though, like I guess my to me the gateway to like possibly getting new people in anime is probably going to be a shonen anime. So those are a little bit more lighthearted. They follow like common tropes, and it's easier to digest. So that's going to have to be your Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, possibly Inuyasha.
I think for people in our age group, it would be more like something more like gritty, or unless they have memories of like from their childhood. If they didn't already watch a little bit of Dragon Ball Z or Naruto in their childhood just from like Toonami, exposure from that, it'd be kind of difficult to get into anime to go back into a shonen because it's the demographic for the most part is for like teens, younger people.
And it took me forever to like actually sit back down and watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and regular Fullmetal Alchemist because I remember pieces of it from my childhood and I wasn't that interested in it. But then when I forced myself to rewatch it, I was like, okay, I really enjoyed this show.
Yeah.
I watched part of that and I dropped that one too.
You dropped that one?
Or? Huh?
Which one did you see?
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I think.
Watched
whatever the remastered one was, because wasn't Fullmetal Alchemist like the original, and then they remastered it with Brotherhood.
Yeah, Brotherhood was like the more.
I got maybe like 15, 20 episodes into it.
Might as well finish it. It's only like 60, I think, 54.
Yeah, but if I didn't get to the halfway mark, why would I?
It's only 32. You basically got to the halfway mark.
I think you should watch the original. Honestly, it shows. It talks about like it actually explains the characters. Because I just started rewatching Brotherhood not that long ago.
It does.
And like half the events and characters they don't elaborate on. They go right into it because right from the get-go it's a nostalgia trip. And I think that's what really amplifies the show and puts it over the top. It already had a solid foundation. Like if you're gonna watch Brotherhood, I think you should absolutely watch the original and then Brotherhood. Like the ending for it's not it's different because they had to create a different ending that's not canon for the original. If you.
But the original is the animation different.
It's not very different.
It's a little bit different, isn't it?
I think the graphics aren't the animation's still good, but like
it's like they pretty much remade the story, so it's gonna be told a little bit.
I would say
right?
no. Brotherhood's definitely a little bit more cartoonish. I feel like the regular one was more. It was catered towards more adult animation.
Well, here's what I'll do. I'm not gonna pick up Brotherhood again because, like you said with Lord of the Rings, like you just weren't into it, you dropped it. That's kind of what happened to me. I'll check out the original though. I can't do that.
The original. And I mean, I'm gonna do the same thing with Hunter x Hunter. Like when I watch Hunter x Hunter, I'm gonna watch the 1998 version, and then I'll watch the new one after that.
I think you have to. Like I've been watching that's what I looked up because you were telling me. I told you I was watching it. It was only like 62 episodes, and then you're like, "Oh, it's way more than that."
The
1998 version only has 62 episodes, but then I watched my anime on Dub Happy, but they also had the 2011 version on Dub Happy, so I think that might be what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can. I'll have to like find where they sync up because obviously I'm going to get to a point in the 1998 version where it cuts off, and then I got to switch over.
Yeah, a lot of that's because the mangaka, the guy who actually wrote it, he had a lot of like chronic issues, problems with stress, etc., in his lifestyle. And he had to keep like sort of stopping on and off with his manga or whatever format it was, manga, I believe. And that's what's going on now. That's why there's a hiatus, but like they just couldn't.
Hiatus everywhere.
Yeah.
Then the same thing happen with Berserk?
Did the second Berserk season, whatever they released, it's like unwatchable. Like the anime style is like really clunky. It's not like 1998 like anime style was better than whatever that was. It was like I really wish you could just like check out a clip of it. It's like not smooth animation at all. It's like really clunky. It looks like something that I would make like if not knowing how to do anything.
Oh my god!
And yeah, apparently I heard they loaded it. The animation studio loaded it with a bunch of CGI.
Yeah, that's what it is. Whatever that animation style is, I was not a fan of it at all. It made it to where I couldn't watch it.
When did
I watched one episode.
This like second season? Is this like the most recent
Well, wait,
season?
I watched 2 episodes of that actually. I think I'm on episode 2 or 3. I dropped it, but like it was a temporary drop while I finished other stuff.
No, I like I couldn't even though it's newer, whatever animation style they did in the original Berserk was way better. Even Rob was telling me that. Rob was telling me that he like had a hard time watching it.
Yes,
he said he watched all of it, but he said he had a hard time watching it. And I was really into the first Berserk story, and I was excited to watch the new season that came out. And he told me that up front. I was like, well, I really like Berserk, so I'm gonna check it out. And I knew exactly what he was talking about right away when I checked it out. I was like,
well, the thing is, the reason why I'm gonna continue watching season 2 is for the story.
Yeah, but it was a struggle to watch it, so I was just like, I'm gonna watch other stuff.
It is a struggle, but I'm a power through. I'm gonna have to. I really like the story. I want to see how it ends. Actually,
I would almost prefer to your point, to see how it ends. I would just prefer to read. Like, it was not enjoyable to watch that. I would prefer to just read how it ends.
So we got Matt, Berserk season 1, 10 out of 10. Season 2, 1 out of 10. Would rather read.
Oh my god.
Definitely 1 out of 10 for the second one. Just based off the animation, the story could be amazing. I'm not gonna talk junk about the story. If anyone's out there that's like, the story's amazing, that could be higher than a 1 out of 10. But the animation definitely 1 out of 10, which I think makes it overall 1 out of 10. and for the original, I don't know if I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but it's pretty good anime. Definitely above an 8.5. I don't know if it's quite a 9. Could be a 9. Could be a 9.5. I don't know. I just know it's above, greater than 8.5.
I have it at like around 7.5.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's good. It's a really good anime. It's just that there's to me there's so many anime that I've seen that's better than Berserk. Not to say Berserk is bad.
So right now, I mean, we're obviously going to pump out a lot more episodes because, I mean, there's not really much else to do. Coronavirus 2020. What right now, first episode, start of the show, what would you say your favorite anime is?
Wait, my favorite anime?
Yeah.
Like right now or all time?
Wouldn't that be the same thing? But
Well, I thought you meant like ones I've been watching right now, like the anime season, or like out of all the anime I've seen.
Out of all the anime you've seen,
What's my favorite? Code Geass, hands down.
all right, I have not seen that one. We'll have to do an episode on that after I check it out.
Oh, wait, what about your favorite?
Probably just for nostalgia, I would have to say Yu Yu Hakusho. Watched that growing up, 4th grade. Was really into that show. Then as a adult later on, I rewatched it because it was coming out on Toonami. I didn't see every episode bar for bar. I'd like missed some episodes. I actually never saw the end. I was just mainly captivated by that second season where they had that big tournament, and that like was amazing to watch as a child. So then I went and rewatched the whole show as an adult. Didn't disappoint. Had the same opinion. Reminded me of a young Matthew watching that in 4th grade as I was rewatching it. So, you know, just a big emotional connection to that show, Yu Yu Hakusho. I probably have to say, as of now, that's my favorite. I've seen a lot of good ones since then, but just because that one was such a key one as a child, I'd probably have to go with that.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Andrew?
Man, I mean,
I know you're a big Hunter
ex-Hunter
fan.
I gotta say, yeah. If we're talking about current favorite, it's gotta be Hunter x Hunter, like all time.
And it was made by the same dude that made Yu Yu Hakusho.
He's so good, yeah. He really.
Really?
improved his storytelling in later on, like with Hunter x Hunter, in my opinion. Like in the themes he explores. I mean, it's sort of like he has like this sort of like his writing style. He's just kind of his, what do you call it? Like he gets into a flow. It's like sort of like a stream of consciousness. Like whatever gets in his head, whatever themes he feels like talking about. And to a degree, it's like social commentary. And he adapts that to his like to it. He fits into a story like flawlessly, and he's made it like chronologically like fit into it. I don't know. I just really admire his ability to write. And I think that whoever adapted it, they did an amazing job, especially with the newest version. Was it 2011?
Yeah, so that was a different guy that wrote that.
He wrote the whole. I mean, he wrote Yu Yu Hakusho. He wrote the whole thing. I think I want to say the same studio adapted it, but I mean, the art style is completely different.
Yeah, the same. He wrote it.
But the animation's great. Yeah, he wrote it for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out Hunter x Hunter. I only
You've
got
got
to
to.
11.
I tried showing you Yu Yu Hakusho, but you didn't pick it back up. That made me sad. But
Oh wait, Yu Yu Hakusho on episode 11. I'm not really sure what episode I am for Hunter x Hunter.
I mean, the first like 10 episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho are like completely different than the rest of the show because it's pretty much just introducing the character. But it's not like the Dragon Ball Super where it's like a waste of your time to watch it. It's actually like key for the story, whereas a birthday party on a yacht isn't really key for a story. But yeah, you said you got to episode 11. It picks up like it's like imagine like being on a motorcycle. You're just like revving up and you're driving for a long time, and then episode 10 you're just like jumping off the ramp.
So maybe I think episode 10. I only got up to like wherever we watched together.
Oh, I don't know if it's 10, but I'm just saying there's like it's a little bit slow at the beginning, but then it just like it jumps off and it doesn't look back.
See, it reminds me of JoJo's Bizarro Adventure. If you've seen that.
Oh yeah.
I've not. Maybe Andrew can speak on it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean,
as far as like the style goes, like it reminds me of like that old style animation type of thing where I was like, when I was watching Yu Yu Hakusho, I was like, okay, I'm clearly looking at an old anime.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I actually prefer that anime style than like to what Dragon Ball Super was.
You might really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You were talking junk about that one. I never checked it out. I thought you were talking junk about that at one point.
I like the style. I didn't the very first like arc, where they have like
I met Kristen was talking junk.
The initial characters of Dio and like the original Joe. It's just like I didn't care much for the art style. The story was like generic for a little bit, but then again, you gotta think like it's the time like that it came out. I think it was probably a little bit more unique at that time, and it inspired a lot of references, obviously in meme culture, but like but like other animes as well, tropes and themes that have been explored from there. I think it gets better. I don't know. Have you seen the whole thing up to Golden Wind or?
So I've seen him to the part where he's first teaching him how to use his powers, and he had to beat the dude with the wine glass.
Oh man, okay.
Like, not drop the blood or not drop the juice. He just got out of that part, and I want to say I watched the episode after where they had to go up the mountain in order to like save somebody, but they both got trapped.
Okay.
So I was quite a few episodes in, but I don't think I was halfway in.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion, I didn't really care a whole lot about that arc anyways. I just thought, I just knew that it was going to get better. Like, based on all the memes I saw, pretty much. And that I heard that Golden was coming out. So I decided to watch all of it. I think, like, just all the entire, like, power structure, just everything just changes. It's almost like a new story after that first arc.
Okay.
Really, I mean, they explore it in the second arc. They explore it, the same power. I forget what they call it. Do you recall? It's like that golden sort of light power that he has.
Oh, I forgot what it was called too.
I wish I remembered. But they get into a whole new power structure. I mean, it continues in the second arc, and then towards the end in the third arc, it just gets completely different. It's almost like a new story. I recommend watching it. I can't say it's like amazing, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah, because I feel like that dude just came out of nowhere. It was like, all right, yeah, the mask, I understand. You know, it's like leeches on the people, drains the life force, kind of kills them. And then this dude just comes out the cut like, hey, look, I'm going to teach you how to use this new power in order to, like, fight this power I've been trying to fight. And I'm like, Yo, what?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like he basically he just from the get go was like, I see something in you. I'm gonna teach you my way.
Yeah, I'm
The
like,
only way. Like, okay, all right.
but he just seems like he came out of nowhere. And I mean, yeah, the arc was like, I think the arc was the main thing. It wasn't really that interesting. I did like the part like,
Yeah.
what was it? When he was like tricking his dad, he was clearly like the evil guy, but his dad
Oh my God.
like the model child. And I was like, damn.
I kind of felt bad for him. I mean, honestly, the original Joe was being like a little bit of a bitch. He was kind of just like letting it happen, but he was like Golden Spoon, like or Silver Spoon. He had like never really dealt with those kind of people.
Yeah.
No one who was actually like straight up like inherently like thoughtful and evil. I mean, like really thought through their actions and was evil, because he couldn't hold a candle to Dio. And I feel like Dio didn't even really like wasn't even really that intelligent at the time. He just was kind of like Joe. The original JoJo was just super gullible.
He was definitely hella gullible.
Super gullible.
But my thing is also like, I think, I don't want to say that like the writing was cheesy, but there was definitely like some cheesy moments. Like when Dio kissed a girl, and it was like the worst thing ever because her first kiss wasn't JoJo. And then they didn't talk for like the next 10 years, or like the time skip.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are you the girl that like I liked when I was a childhood, and then you got kissed by another guy? And I'm like,
Yeah, what was that about? He just like totally wrote her off because what? She was like a peasant, wasn't she? If I
I think
recall.
he was the peasant, but he liked her, and then Dio kissed her forcibly, like basically forced the kiss. And then after the kiss, she was rinsing her mouth out with like the puddle water on the side of the street.
Damn.
Like, that far.
Damn, yeah. I don't really understand that. Like, I mean, I guess maybe it was written for the context of the times. It was like, was it Victorian, or like it was like the 1800s perhaps? Around that time. So maybe that's why things were a little bit different in terms of reaction. Because like you think about it now, like a kiss ain't shit. You can talk about like innocence and stuff, but like now it ain't shit.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of like that turned me off. Is I enjoy watching anime that like you can watch in any time period and it still has like the same context, like Naruto, Mirai Nikki, Death Note.
Yeah.
No matter what time period you're in, the story takes place no matter like Bleach. No matter where you're at in the time period, you can actually have that as a decent story. Whereas like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was clearly a story catered towards what was correct in that time period.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I agree with that.
But if it does get better, I have to like give it another shot. Like the anime wasn't bad. Like it wasn't like, oh, I hate this anime, it's boring. It was just some aspects of it I didn't like as much as I liked other aspects of other anime that kept me watching it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like even like a show like Naruto is to a degree more consistent than JoJo's. I mean, they literally scrapped like pretty much the entire power structure that they had initially, and like just came up with a whole new power system. Yeah, like in the third arc, they just come up with a new power, like a new system of abilities. It's like completely different, and they stick to that. I mean, which I think was for the better. I think it's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch at least. Whether I mean it's at least like enjoyable. If you feel like dropping it, go for it. The art style changes as the story goes, and I think one of the cooler concepts is just the fact that they kind of continue in a almost like a lineage sort of fashion, like they continue with descendants, and I think that was just a cool way. There's not too many anime that actually continue like that, through the descendants. They just kind of like
like they do in Boruto.
It's actually it is kind of like Boruto in that regard.
I'm usually not a fan of that. I usually always prefer if like you tell a story and then the next thing is you dive deeper into the past of characters.
Yes, I mean, let it be on the record. I always thought that Naruto should go back in the past before like doing what his children did. Like,
yeah, they could have just had a whole story about like the missed swordsman and like former what's the Sand Kage called?
Kazekage?
Yeah, they could have had like the third Kazekage. Like we know he gets turned into a puppet, right? But like,
who did he get turned into a puppet by? Sasori, who happened to lose to a Chunin and some lady.
He didn't want to win. He didn't want to win.
Even if
he didn't even know why he was in the Akatsuki. Like we don't know why he didn't know why.
I'm just saying, you went 1-on-1 against LeBron, and LeBron had a blindfold on, he would still win.
I don't
I
know.
don't know with that. I don't know with that.
Make
glad
it take
you're
a
here.
LeBron. Make it LeBron gets the ball first.
I mean, he could probably like feel the rim, right? Like he could probably just physically body the shit out of me and then like make his way to the rim. I guess he could be unstoppable in that regard, even with a blindfold. But like, I don't know if
You could just travel and said you picked up your dribble. There's no,
Yeah,
he's not beating you with a blindfold.
yeah,
Okay,
just,
but you said LeBron, you traveled. Is he really going to agree to you and give you the ball?
No, you just say you picked up your dribble and then just walk around him.
yeah. I mean,
and then say you make a layup, say you drained the three.
No, wait.
Points.
Okay, but what if he stands underneath the rim waiting for you to like?
I don't want to have this one. All I was asking is like they don't really go into the character of the third Kage, do they? You just know he got turned into a puppet, and you know
not much. Yeah, they didn't talk about it much.
they could have a whole story about like the first, second, third Great Ninja Wars.
That's what I'm saying. Like they literally had 3 wars before this dude Naruto came to Earth, and they're like, yeah, let's take over his kid. Now,
And I would have liked those because they're
about
Way cooler.
like the how the tail beasts were created, how they were dispersed across the land. They could have talked about like the Rinnegan and Sharingan being developed in like 2 dojutsu. So many things they could have done. They could have talked about like the great ninja tools. There was like 5 of them in the war, which kind of reminded me of Shaolin Showdown.
Shaolin Showdown.
Oh man, that's a blast from the past.
Wow.
Like when they popped up with ninja tools, he was like, "Yeah, this is the gourd. Yeah, this is the ninja fan," and it was like, "This is the like the spear or whatever." I was like, "That sounded like tools."
The two-ton tunic.
But they had so much content they had in the war that they could have just like used to piggyback them to talk about what happened in the first 3 wars. That is what the direction they should have gone in instead of having his kids.
And that would have been about ninjas instead of aliens. So
Yeah. They should have done that because they just continue with the aliens. They just continue doubling down with that, and they made the whole new series about the aliens. I think that shows that the initial universe they had was truly great. They really built it with depth, and it like was meaningful and was worth watching. And they instead of delving into that, they just continue in this new light. I don't know why. Why would they do that?
How many episodes of Boruto have you watched?
0, just the movie.
Oh, this movie. Oh shit! Yeah, I try to watch Boruto. It's not worth it.
I mean, my brother will like send me clips of like the fights that he has. Like I saw like Naruto fight on the moon, and I was like, okay, like he's just breathing on the moon. I'm like, that's fine. This is okay. All right.
Dude, what's crazy is the fight scene they had in the movie is so much better than the one they had in the anime show that was supposed to be a remake of it.
I bet they had a much higher budget in the movie, and it showed. It was real. I thought the movie was pretty good. I just didn't like that they continue with Boruto instead of like going back. So I'm agreeing with y'all there. There's so much they didn't explore in the actual universe initially.
Exactly. I mean, they kind of backed themselves in a corner because, like, I think Kishimoto was like forced to obviously power scale it up and like bring an ending to the story. But then when they saw, I guess, how much money it was making, they're like, oh, we have to continue the story. But we already made this dude like the most powerful of like anything
Godlike.
else.
Another reason I don't like just talking about the descendants is because, like you're saying, the power scale gets to be ridiculous. Like in Dragon Ball Z, Frieza, baddest person at that time. Cell, baddest person at the time. Boo, the baddest. But then now, I'm sure all these people they're fighting in Dragon Ball Super. Like I told you, Pikkon like karate kicked Cell and Frieza at the same time. The arc before that, no one's doing that. They're assembling the whole
Hey, look,
world's best fighters to fight that one person. They're not karate
that
kicking
happens
with
every
one
single
person.
day. Like right now, there's a kid being born that's going to be 10 times smarter than me and you. We can't be like, oh, well, 10 years ago that didn't happen.
I don't know about that. I feel like people in like ancient Egypt were like as smart as us. They just didn't have the tech. They didn't have the technology we do. I don't think we're like smarter than them per se.
Their problems are different too. I mean, I feel like they had to be challenged to be ingenuitive, or I mean, to think outside the box more constantly for their survival.
Yeah, but like the broader point is like on average, we were probably smarter than someone in the 1500s. And
I don't know if you are.
Oh,
well, you're saying these Japanese people are geniuses. I'll fit right in. But
I'm just playing.
even so, like Boruto, you know, they're not gonna be more powerful than Naruto, but like I guess they have to make the story so he has something to fight against.
I mean, it's just after like upping them up to that godlike level, and then like showing his kids, and like Boruto was like basically as strong as Naruto, maybe even a little bit less because he wasn't motivated to try his best. You know, being the son of the Hokage, he just wasn't. If I remember, he wasn't really super motivated. He was still a class clown like his son, right? I mean, like his dad, right? But he just didn't have the motivation to be the best. He didn't have that like sort of darkness in his life that allowed him to truly see like to follow his path, to be like the best at something, to really care. Not until later.
I know. I think I saw on Reddit. I can't remember, but someone described it as like Naruto series basically put in itself in a spot where they had to decrease how strong Naruto and Sasuke were in order to like make it seem like the next generation people are actually doing something. Because I mean, realistically, Naruto and Sasuke can take out any threat that comes. Like they're strong beings on Earth or in the ninja world. So they basically had to nerf those two people in order to make it seem like, hey, look, these people can grow up and do something too. Which is why you see like Naruto like failing a lot of times apparently in the anime.
Yeah.
Which is probably why there's been like talk about them killing him off. But
So would you recommend that one?
but would I recommend Boruto?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna watch it. I just was for the fans.
But see, well, like you, I actually gave it a fair chance.
Oh, I didn't even finish Shippuden, so why would I watch whatever
Well, I'm
that?
talking about in general. I gave the anime a fair chance before I dropped it.
I mean, more like by watching it to completion, I'd say like you're truly erasing any hope or doubt that something could be better or could be worse. Like there's nothing queued up for you to watch. Like I don't know. Like we keep saying that like something's worth watching. You know, whenever like Matt, for instance, would drop a series, and I think it's true. I agree with a lot of those examples. Like I think Shippuden's worth the watch all the way through. But by like watching it through, I don't think it's necessary. I mean,
I watched 90%.
yeah, like I think that's more than a fair chance. I think that's more than a fair chance.
Oh yeah. But like Dragon Ball Z Super, 20 episodes. Come on,
Dude, 20 episodes, nothing happened.
That's like almost
look. Nothing happened in Boruto. Guess how many episodes of it I watched?
Oh, I'm
probably like 15.
Dude,
how many?
Instead of watching 20 episodes of a yacht, I could watch like all of Goblin Slayer. I could watch Mirai Nikki.
But you're not giving
Watch
it a
like
fair
half
chance.
of Food Wars.
The talk was about giving it a fair chance before you consider.
I gave it more than I probably should have bowed out after 10 episodes. That's when I was really gonna drop it, and then I was like, no, let me give it a chance. And then I got up to like 20. And then you're saying I should give it a chance beyond when I already gave it 2 chances.
Yes.
I already told you I thought they like nerfed it down, made it more of a kid's show. It didn't live up to like Dragon Ball Z
But I'm not gonna say it surpasses Dragon Ball Z, but it has some pretty good story arcs. Like the story is actually really interesting. And
there's all these other animes I haven't even watched. So I'd rather invest my time in some new shows than
you just started episode like 21 Super.
As long as Andrew gets what I'm talking about, because I could debate you on nonsense like all day.
Look, Andrew, make him watch Dragon Ball Z Super. Give him 30 episodes.
I mean, I haven't even watched Dragon Ball Super. I'm not one to talk.
All you have to do is like get past the part where they like are basically replaying the movie, which is not interesting. But once you get past that, they start bringing in the new characters. It's good.
Okay.
I would say watch Goblin Slayer instead if you haven't seen that.
I really like Goblin Slayer. I think it was funny how like the controversy that they had with Goblin Slayer when it first came out, a few episodes in, with that like explicit scene. I don't know. I think that was like
it's really just the first episode that
it was wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the very first episode was probably the most graphic, but get past the first episode.
Is it the movie or the OVA?
It's Prime.
I need to watch the new OVA.
Huh?
Did you ever watch the Goblin Slayer like new episode? Or I need to watch it.
You told me it wasn't on Dub Happy, so I could try and watch it sub.
I didn't sub. Okay,
I'll
down.
I'll see if I can find it sub.
I'm watching this.
Trying to check out Kiss Anime too. I feel like they have. I mean, they've had every anime I've ever wanted to like look for on Kiss Anime.
Copy. Well, I can check that out. Talk about Mirai Nikki next episode, and yeah, it'll just keep getting better. This is episode 1.
Thanks for having me.
Sounds good. Sir, man.
All right.
Peace.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.